All right, so 2024 saw an explosion of nostalgic packaging. Everything felt like it belonged to my Trapper Keeper and my Lisa Frank pencil case. But in 2025, design is both maturing and taking a step back. In this video, we're talking about packaging trends that you need to know, not just for design sake and where that's going, but really for your business and how to help build brands that are going to make money and not actually cost them money, because there's packaging legislation that you need to know is going to cost the brands that you're working with a ton of money if you make the wrong choices in 2025. Instead of me sharing the biggest things that are coming in 2025, I've asked designers from around the world to share 2025's biggest trends and challenges yet to come.
So, Avelio, you're asking me about trends, but I think trends are dangerous because they're generally short-lived. They come and they go. And when brands hyperfixate on trend, they tend to design stuff that feels homogenous, and it tends to be that they feel that they really understand this specific consumer, and you lose appeal to everybody outside of that. And it's outside of that becomes interesting when you think about all the nuances of the different types of people that you could be speaking to. That's where the real rich stuff happens. So yeah, I'm not having this. If you're going to be talking about trends, I'm done. Merry Christmas.
So with that warning, let's jump into trends that are going to define packaging in 2025.
I'm Fred Hart, independent brand consultant and designer, and here's my hot take on the design trend for 2025. We're going to see the evolution of the Gen Z aesthetic beyond cliche and stereotype. If you go to Pinterest today and you plug in Gen Z design, you're going to see a lot of the same thing. Lots of color, interesting combinations, unique typography driven by character, and tons of maximalism. And while that look and feel may have worked for a handful of companies in different categories, the more it's utilized and simply mimicked, the less effective it'll become over time, which will mean the brands that really understand their audiences and design for them rather than emulating will be the ones that are most successful. Look at companies like Liquid Death, Rode by Hailey Bieber, Skims. They all buck that trend, and we're going to continue to see more of that. Look out for agencies like Day Job, Center, Gander, and plenty of others that are going to really push the envelope on what Gen Z considers their look and feel.
Gander's Happy Viking packaging hits all the right notes. Its bright, type-led design puts consumer first with crystal clear data. It's both powerful and easy to understand in 8 seconds or less. What's something else that we can see in 2025?
I think working in CPG, particularly packaging for food brands, I think is really exciting because we get to shape culture. And I think food is a universal bridge between cultures. And I think that's going to be a really exciting space for us in 2025, not just for emerging brands or bringing global flavors, but I think also CPG, the big CPG is going to be leaning into it. I think we're going to see just more innovation in terms of not just flavor palettes, but textures. I think product formats, I think it's going to be really interesting. Just really seeing a big boom on creativity and how we kind of bring new brand experiences to consumers. I think that's going to be something really exciting to be looking forward to, and I can't wait to be a part of it. Thanks.
Packaging that could drive culture wasn't super clear to me when I first heard about it. It wasn't until I spoke to the team at Bowie that made it super clear with their Loteria inspired agua frescas. The design, the color, the layout, everything spoke to culture. And then when you tie it all together to the flavors and the presentation, that really put culture front and center. As a trend going forward, this is going to make a huge difference in CPG, food, and then we'll see that bleed into other products. But the biggest question I hear is, how is sustainable packaging going to change in 2025? For that, we've got Chris Wilson of Stickman.
I think designing with sustainability in mind will continue to be a big requirement from brands in 2025. Some of the challenges will be selecting processes and materials that are not only good for the planet, but that don't compromise on things like cost, the customer experience, or a product's on-shelf impact when in a retail environment. I think the problem is consumers have become so accustomed to premium finishes and unboxing experiences, but with brands moving away from the over-packaging of their products, the responsibility is going to lie with designers on coming up with clever ways to kind of reintroduce that value somehow. A couple of examples could be introduction of digital experiences through on-pack QR codes, or basically creating reusable packaging that has a second life with the consumer. These could help hit that sweet spot between sustainability, functionality, and still delivering a great customer experience.
Beyond designing sustainable consumer experiences, how can designers tackle the waste problem?
What if your packaging disappears after you use it? Soluble packaging is my bet for 2025. Soluble packaging is already a game changer. Thanks to material innovation and disruptive design, it's already a reality. It dissolves in water, leaving no residues. It's available for many beauty products, and it reduces waste dramatically. Soluble packaging is booming, expected to grow 7% yearly and up to $6 billion in 2031. It reduces waste and carbon footprint. It's perfect for eco-conscious brand. Just add water and you have your perfect shampoo or your hand wash, and zero hassle. Customers, especially Gen Z, want eco-friendly products. From body soaps to shampoos, dissolvable packaging is becoming popular in all beauty categories. It's eco-friendly, it's convenient, and it's getting in love most consumers, and maybe it's the key for your next hit.
Everybody's concerned about sustainability today. What if I told you can take your pouches, labels, your single-serve wrappers, and make them completely dissolve, make them completely disappear in water? That's what the team at SmartSolve has done. They've got a paper that is certified flushable. You can actually take the packaging, put it in the sink, put it in the shower, put it in the toilet, flush it. It dissolves completely into fibers. Learn more about SmartSolve. Go to smartsolve.com and ask for samples. Now, let's get back to the show. We can't focus on materials to eliminate the waste problem. There's other ways to do that as well. For that, let's listen to Uwe Melichar.
This box, for example, is a reusable shipping box. And if you're lucky, it comes again and again and again to you. Like this guy, that's from Recup, a reusable cup, as you can see, and they have 20,000 outlets in Germany. And well, all those systems, also like this from Häagen-Dazs, it needs a proper ecosystem. It needs really a structure to be cleaned, to be transported, and to be brought back into the retail universe. But I strongly believe in collaboration in these systems, and well, I hope you too. And well, let's make these things happen together.
Beyond design and sustainability, what are some of the trends that people aren't talking about?
Packaging trend that I don't hear anybody really talking about is how can packaging be used as a marketing tool to change people's behavior and aid in changing people's behavior by giving them something more to offer. You know, I think companies who can find ways to give a consumer more value, you know, along their consumer journey, or to help out along the shopper path to purchase, and better understanding of how to navigate the category, for example, how to find the product on shelf. Those are all the standard things that we might want to do or improve consumer usage. But how can packaging be something that enhances a new behavior that consumers might have to have in the future? For example, refillable packaging, right? What can packaging do to solve some of those problems of refills and instead of making it more of a burden or being less convenient for a consumer, how could it be even more convenient for a consumer? How could it help the consumer understand how to dispose of or how to recycle something? I think that's a really interesting place to spend some time in 2025 trying to figure that out.
If you want to learn about more ways to change consumer behavior, maybe how to set up your files for print production, or even like where to find the latest material that you should be considering for your packaging, like where do you even start? Where do you go? For that, let's talk to Matt Hansley.
What excites me most about the packaging industry in 2025 is how accessible education has become in the last couple of years. There's platforms like Offsite, Google Learning, YouTube, ChatGPT, which enable anyone to learn packaging or any design on your own schedule. Podcasts and tutorials will help you keep connected with the industry and keep you updated on real world trends and from real professionals. Today, packaging design is all about your design and not just your credentials. If you can create desirable designs, you will thrive in this industry. AI tools are also breaking down a lot of barriers through integration and software and just helping you bring ideas to life quickly. The future of packaging design is not just exciting, it's more accessible than ever.
And if you're still unsure of where to go to learn more about packaging, let's talk to Dave Hopkins.
Hello, everybody. My name is Dave from Print Design Academy, where we teach in-house creative teams how to design for print and packaging. One trend I do not want you to sleep on going into 2025 is the world of digital embellishments. I'm talking foil stamping. I'm talking matte gloss contrasts, raised textures digitally. The barrier to entry of doing those awesome and attention-grabbing print finishes on your print and packaging has come way down. It is no longer extremely expensive to create very, very impactful print and packaging pieces. So don't sleep on that. And overall, going into 2025, learn print and packaging design. It is increasingly relevant to get attention of your target audience, to spend those extra few seconds with them instead of just being a fleeting scrolling Instagram ad. So learn print and packaging design and have an awesome 2025.
Now that you've heard where design's heading in 2025, or how sustainability is changing, or how culture is a superpower, what is something that you can do today to improve your client relations and become a better designer? For that, we've got Sarah at Beardwood & Co.
Absolutely, having a strong process is key. We want to make sure we're getting our brands to growth that we work with, staying focused on those strategic objectives, that business strategy overall, and staying true to that as we go through the journey. But there are always those accelerated pressures, often reduced resources that our clients and brands are working with, and kind of that million miles per hour, with new information, kind of joining the journey as we go along. So staying tuned, honing those active listening skills are really the glue that kind of holds us together in those relationships as we go forward and ultimately gets us to a strong end result. So definitely recommending to listen up as we go through 2025 and stay true to honing that skill as well. Thank you so much. And here's to a great 2025 going forward.
Beyond new materials, beyond reusing, there's other ways to be sustainable as well. Let's talk about regenerative design and how you can talk about it to your clients to help them understand that packaging can also do good.
Imagine a world where packaging just not only do less harm, but actively heals the planet. Sounds crazy? For years, sustainability in packaging focuses on reducing waste or recycling materials. But reducing is not longer enough. The question is, can packaging give more than it takes? What if we not only do less harm, but help to do good? Welcome to regenerative design, a trend that reimagines packaging as a contributor to environmental health. Think about materials and processes that enrich the soil or support reforestation. Packaging can be more than just a container. It can be part of the solution. In my book, Great Tester Revolution, I explore how these ideas can inspire businesses to lead a new era of packaging. It's not about just making products, it's about making difference.
One of the big topics for 2025 is going to be artificial intelligence. Are you using it? Will you start using it? And how will you use it?
Will you be using AI in 2025? The answer, simple, yes, I will. I'll be using it to extend backgrounds. I will be using it to enhance photos or enhance existing stuff, mainly for Photoshop. As far as AI and other programs, I probably will not use because I feel that the generation of an image from nothing doesn't mean it didn't come from anything. It means it was already somewhere existing and it had to pull information from somewhere else, the style, renderings, or whatever, in order to make the image itself. Enhancing a photo, I think, is great if you want to make a background bigger, add to a shirt, which I've done several times, or even just add a bowl to a dog picture, right? I think that's great. But I don't think that it's right to everyone involved to just make an image out of anywhere, right? I mean, we get paid to do our jobs. Our job is maybe going away or evolving, but it should not involve the blank creation of something that wasn't there before.
We've actually been coming up on 2 years of experimenting with it and implementing it as an acceleration tool across all parts of our process. So whether it's an insights tool and companion to consumer research or competitive analysis or creative development, the massive factor for us is it's never the driver or final deliverable of our work. We always want to make sure we're rooting our work in human insights informed by factual data and ultimately delivering things that are ownable and distinctive brand assets. But we feel absolutely it's something we must continue to embrace and leverage and want to, have that attitude of bravery and curiosity about, which are two of our core values here at Beardwood & Co. So that ultimately bears great responsibility as well as we continue to experiment with it. So a continued journey that we will stay the course on.
I think the best way to look at it is not to think of AI as replacing traditional designers, but just becoming another tool in the toolbox. I don't think AI is capable now or in the near future of replicating that key component of brand storytelling and creating credible differentiation that a designer can do and can add to the piece. Is that always going to be the case? Who knows? But I think for the foreseeable future, that ability to weave a story that strikes an emotional connection between the brand and the consumer is firmly owned by the experienced brand designer using AI as a support rather than a replacement.
What are going to be the biggest challenges in 2025 for the packaging industry, whether you're in design, manufacturing, or you're a brand that buys packaging? What are some things that you need to consider and think about now?
I'm Chris Jocelyn, Marketing Manager for the creative studio Butterfly Cannon. In answer to the question, what's the biggest challenge packaging will face in 2025? For us, this is undoubtedly about ensuring sustainability remains a top priority throughout its entire life cycle, as we do with our conscious design process. In the face of ongoing macroeconomic pressures and the looming threat of recession, we're definitely seeing a tightening of budgets and many of our clients scaling back and prioritising safer and more traditional approaches. And whilst that's totally understandable, the risk is that innovative and sustainable solutions, which can sometimes feel less predictable, might be sidelined. We see it as our role to bridge this gap, showing that sustainability can align with cost effectiveness and demonstrating the long-term value of responsible packaging choices.
Hey y'all, Andy Kurtz, founder and creative director of Buttermilk Creative, and I think the biggest challenge packaging faces in 2025 is how we scale sustainability. Brands, both big and small, struggle with this question and how to implement it, especially around materials. They are often very expensive, they're hard to source, and don't always fit into existing supply chains. Then there's the education gap. Consumers are asking, is this recyclable? Is it compostable? And the brands are usually stuck with answering those questions, potentially making their packaging really cluttered, confusing. So what keeps me up at night? It's finding that balance, making sustainable materials available, affordable, and scalable so that every brand, big and small, can make a difference. We have to, right? Not only does it keep me up at night, I'm also really optimistic and excited because there's so many smart people already thinking about this problem. I think we're going to make some major headway in the coming year.
All right, let's take a quick second to talk about idpdirect.com. Go right to that website, download the design guides, the sustainability guides, the recyclable icon guide, which basically lists out all the different icons. It gives them to you in vectors. You can drop them right into your artwork right now, today, and go right into production. All right, back to the pod.
Packaging shouldn't just look good. It should make people stop and take notice. Just stand out, tell a brand story, and leave a lasting impression. We need to take risks and make sure every package feels fresh and unique. The second challenge is how we mentor young designers in a hybrid work environment. Design thrives in collaboration. Those moments of sharing ideas, solving problems, and pushing each other to think differently. The challenge is keeping the creative energy flowing when teams aren't always in the same room. We need to find ways to make sure new designers still feel connected to the team and have a space to grow.
There's one thing keeping me up at night about 2025, it's regulations. They're coming in fast and getting tougher every day. From strict recyclability rules to material bans, it feels like there's always something new to tackle. In many ways, it's like trying to hit a moving target, one that's also shouting for us to do better. Honestly, that's the point. Regulations are forcing us to rethink how we work and make smarter choices. They're driving the kind of innovation we've been needing for years. Sure, it's challenging, but it's also a huge opportunity to prove that great design and sustainability can go hand in hand.
Creating and designing packaging as environmentally responsible as we can. So everything that we can do as designers to shift our packaging and our designs to be greener in end of life, greener during life. Could they be repurposed and used more? Could we create something so beautiful that someone wants to save it And instead of just being a single use, it has a much longer life.
That's it for 2024. These are the trends and things that you should be talking about and discussing, learning more about in 2025. If you've got questions, drop them in the comments. Do me a favor, subscribe, like, share, all that good stuff. That's the pod.